Oh, I found a big surprise here yesterday. Totally surprised. And then I forgot about it all day. There was so much going on. What's over here? Look at this. So we've got actually three different tomato plants here. Isn't that amazing? Oh, there's some animal got at this one already last night. I just saw them yesterday when I was finishing the live stream. But there you have testimony that they exist here in the middle of the weeds. Here's the caper plant right here. And you have all these creepers coming choking the flowers. Somebody told me that, well, I don't know, they're not the morning glory ones. Then I found another flower here yesterday. Just noticed it, I hadn't noticed it before. And I don't think it's this one, although that's probably new to us as well. There was another flower here. Oh, here it is. It's quite different. It's amazing that it's like unending amount of different flowers. Ones that haven't opened yet because the sun hasn't come out. And this is where we finished yesterday. And it was funny, yesterday's reading had a word about from Jesus saying that the foxes have dens and the birds of the air have nests, but the Son of Man has nowhere to lay his head. And I was talking about this nest and didn't connect it with the line of the gospel, but there's a bird in there in that nest right now. I think it's a cormorant, but I might be wrong. Just there in that little bush. And she had been swimming there from the right to the left towards the bush, and then I saw her getting up into it. So we captured her yesterday. I think it was on the Instagram, and that became a very sad story because I could never upload it. It went too long. There was some special flow yesterday in the Instagram conversation. And I tried 5 or 6 times to upload it, but it was 9 minutes. And for some reason, if anybody knows about that, it just didn't upload for me. It just didn't upload. It wouldn't upload. And so then in the afternoon, we had some very special visitors. And we had one of the 49ers, the American football players, who's going into the Hall of Fame next month. And sure enough, his wife was filled with humor and goodness, and she said, "You have to do an Instagram here." So that's on our Instagram little post there. You can find a link in here afterwards when you're done, and you can. There's a link to the Instagram page, and I think you don't need to have Instagram. You can get to see it, just an online click. And here we have these little guys, all these incredible flowers. So the abundance of nature is fascinating. Surprises everywhere you go, and as your eye gets trained. Oh, there's the sun. There's the sun, people. Let me try and focus it for you. The sun disk is just over the horizon. Nice and red this morning. You just want to see that. You don't want to miss it. Let's keep walking. Let's keep strolling. This is Sunrise Stroll and Chat. For those of you who are new, welcome to Sunrise Stroll and Chat here at the Sea of Galilee. Now there was a cormorant on this tree here. Let's see if we catch them. Oh, there we have 3 of them. Oh no, that was a purple heron. My gosh, and another type of heron, and there's one cormorant left. So there were 3 different birds right there. There goes the cormorant. So we had a purple heron, and I think another type of heron, the white one, and then the cormorant. It's good to get out to see the sunrise. Naturally, in the northern hemisphere this time of the year, it's an early riser. Let me just check here. What's the exact time now? It's probably 45. Yeah, 5:43. So we're in the two longest weeks of longest daylight in the northern hemisphere. June the 21st is exactly a week away. We're just a week after June the 21st, so there we've had the two longest weeks of, or the 2 weeks of longest daylight, more precisely said. And we're dealing with very strong readings. You see, God cares. God cares about people suffering injustice. And He expects His followers, His believers, His friends to care. And to care, not just to tear up, which is very important, because tears are a boundary to evil. Tears are, I don't agree with evil. Tears are, that's just not how it should be. Tears are, they also express weakness in the sense that, you know, we're overwhelmed, but actually they're a boundary to evil because they show disagreement, they show rejection of evil. Obviously, sometimes the powerful have very strong tools of violent imposition, and it's not possible to stop them physically at the moment. A friend just posted a picture of a room in Dachau concentration camp. Apparently he's there traveling in Germany. A lot of people are there now for Oberammergau and the Passion Play. And so, oh, there's another purple heron just took off over our heads. And it just brought back so many memories. I've been blessed in my life to know quite a few priests personally who were prisoners in Dachau. And they were released after the Allies had won the war. And one of them, Father Bernhard Maczynski. Oh, there's another purple heron. Wow, gosh, if I had only had the camera on them when they lift the branches. Maybe I should sacrifice the sunrise and keep in this direction, because I obviously startled them as I walked down. But the sunrise was too good to miss. And Father Bernhard Maczynski told me that he walked from Dachau to Ingolstadt. It's about an hour's drive north of Munich. And he never left that place his whole life. And because of a series of providential things, I wonder how all this water got here. There must be some leak somewhere, some pipe, or the ground is all sodden here. I brought him to Munich to visit another priest who had been a companion of his, another Polish priest, and he was a companion of his in Dachau. And he told me that it was the first time he went back to Munich and he saw the fields and the hills and the flowers and the tillage and the clumps of trees, because it's a very beautiful patchwork quilt in Bavaria. And it was a moment of ecstasy for him in a way, but also the memories came back to him. But he was so happy to have been liberated, and he was emaciated, and it took him a while to get to walk that distance. Oh, I see this lifeguard here has a railing around his quarters now. That's new. At least I didn't see that before. Is it possible that it was here before and I didn't notice? Maybe. But it strikes me as being new. Oh, look at all these cormorants. Already a bunch have gone, there's still a bunch there. So Cormoran's Convention. And this comments about Dachau. It was posted by the Catholic Traveller if you want to see it. And they match very much the tone of Amos the prophet today. God doesn't like injustice. God doesn't like, that's not compatible with God, because God is good and He created the sunrise for us, and that's just one of the details. I mean, all of nature, He created this incredible planet for us, and God's heart is completely in upheaval when He sees us made in His image and likeness becoming a horror. Well, there's more water coming through here, so there's some major problem somewhere. How could that be? Because this is all wet here as well. All soft. Must be some major water problem. Well, it's a call for change. And there are few prophets as eloquent as Amos in terms of calling out the evil and expressing it. So I encourage you to read it, and even look at that reading again yesterday. As still a farming boy, I'm impressed by the loaded wagon crushing anything underneath the wheels. And I've seen horse-drawn wagons when I was a little boy, or carts loaded with beet and the little stones getting crushed. And I loved to observe that. And it's just the sound of it and just the physicality of it, the physics of it, the weight and the resistance of stone, and yet the lack of full resistance, because the weight of the wagon does it better, The weight of the wagon overpowered those stones. He's just brilliant in his poetry, Amos. His vocabulary, his skill with words. It'd be nice to know the original Hebrew well to relish it, because it must be even more powerful in Hebrew. It's very hard to translate poets. They have such a gift. And today is also a memory for us Catholics of a famous, and Christians, the Greek Orthodox, all the Orthodox churches, and I'm sure many Protestant churches remember Saint Irenaeus in Lyon in France. But he'd been sent there by Polycarp, and it's very important for us historically, because Irenaeus knows Polycarp, and Polycarp knew St. John, and Polycarp was like a mentor for Irenaeus and helped him. He saw him, he was an absolutely brilliant young man, and he had embraced the Christian faith, and he was an amazing student and scholar, and he studied all of the details and reasons of teachings that were off base about Christianity, that had missed some points or misconstrued some things, or bore too much of the influence of thought that was not biblically inspired, counter to what was revealed. And he became just one of the great teachers of the faith, setting new standards, raising the bar. But the line goes directly to St. John, and St. John directly to Jesus. So it's like that line of succession in the faith, and that's documented in the church. It's really amazing how our faith is handed on generation to generation. And even the bishops are ordained by predecessors, and there's a direct line of laying on of hands. So that's one of the joys in our heart when we remember today's martyr, St. Irenaeus, and really the entirety of Gaul, that named that time for France, the area of France today, an area that Julius Caesar had conquered, received the gospel. So Amos asks so many questions today. He's just making a point, you know, that the intolerance of God for evil. It's just incompatible with God's creative goodness. And then we're very wise not to throw stones, because who hasn't sinned, who has not sinned, can throw the first stone. So I think each one in our own heart, we know that we need to ask for forgiveness, for grace, for mercy. And we can pray with compassion for all those who have been hijacked by evil, who have let themselves be hijacked, who even invited or even rejoiced in certain advantages that injustice brought them, and to pray for their conversion, that they will get free of all the trash in their lives and open up for the dignity of each human being, especially the ones they have hurt most deeply. Lord, lead me in your justice. Lead me in your justice, Lord. That's what we prayed today in the psalm. Obviously so appropriate, so matched up for the reading from Amos, the prophet of justice, of social justice. Because of your abundant mercy, I will enter your house. I will worship at your holy temple. If anybody has something against you, leave your gift before the altar, Jesus would say, and go and reconcile first, and then go to worship. Oh, we got a little white heron here. The exact name I don't recall, but in here. Do you see the white heron? Fly off, little bird, so we can see you in the light. Yes. I can't adjust the camera fast enough to catch the flight. Lead me in your justice, Lord. Let me fly off that fast like the bird to embrace your justice. To let your goodness flower in my life and blossom. And the gospel today is about a storm on the sea. Very unlike this morning, it's so calm. But storms rise up in the Sea of Galilee. The boat was being swamped by waves, but he was asleep. Doesn't it seem like that sometimes in the world today, with the marching of evil across many sectors of our society? And we call on Jesus. Look, Jesus, we perish. Our culture, our people, our institutions are under assault. And so what do? Lord, save us. Why are you terrified, O you of little faith? And he got up and rebuked the winds and the sea, and there was a great calm. You know, we get an announcement about a cancer, about an illness, about a bereavement, and we're shook up. Our normal moorings are very disturbed. Why are you terrified? I am here with you. They were amazed and said, what sort of man is this, whom even the winds and the sea obey? People, thank you very much for joining this morning. God bless you. See you later, alligator. Thanks for all the sharing. It's getting around to a lot of people. Brings a lot of consolation. And that's because you're connecting. You're sharing with folks and thinking of people who need a little shot in the arm. See you later, alligators.